Sunrise on the African Savannah, a place where only the toughest survive, and few are tougher than Kira.
This deep within the savannah, a mother rests. For now, her fierce nature is replaced by pure tenderness. Inside the burrow, Kira prepares. Every exit is a risk, but survival demands it. On the African savannah, every scent tells a story. Kira tracks a potential rival. Kira observes a small herd of zebras, but they are not on her menu today. Kira catches a faint, promising scent drifting across the plains. Something shifts in the wind. Hope guides her forward. Honey badgers possess an incredible sense of smell. Kira tracks her next target. Kira is on the hunt. An ostrich nest filled with enormous eggs. Kira is playing a waiting game. One wrong move from the ostrich and she will strike. Patience is her greatest weapon. Kira shows extraordinary patience. She never takes her eyes off the nest, waiting for the perfect moment. A distraction on the horizon provides the perfect opening. Now, Kira must seize her moment. Kira is closing in on the prize. One wrong move could be fatal. Kira reaches the edge of the nest. One wrong move could be fatal. Kira is running for her life. A furious mother is closing in. Kira has pulled off the ultimate heist. Now she must wait for the danger to pass. Safe. Kira has pulled off the ultimate heist. Now she must wait in silence.
After a grueling chase, Kira can finally refuel, but on the open plains, caution is survival. She takes only...
Kira catches a faint scent on the wind. It is the unmistakable aroma of wild honey. The honey badger is a creature of legend. Kira is drawn deeper by a sweet scent. Nothing escapes her. Every sound carries a warning. Kira's incredible senses have led her here. A massive hive of wild bees. But for a honey badger, the prize is... This is Kira, a honey badger of exceptional experience. Instead of rushing, she calculates the safest angle of attack. Kira is about to take a massive risk. High above lies her favorite treat, and these bees will not give it up without a fight. Kira reaches the hive. Thousands of guard bees erupt in a furious cloud, but this fearless predator will not back down. Kira's target is the prize of the savannah, driven by an insatiable hunger. To her, the pain is irrelevant. Driven by an insatiable taste for sweetness, Kira braves the fury of the swarm, her thick hide her ultimate defense. But Kira has more than just herself to feed. This prize is for her hungry cubs. Kira leaves the hive behind. Fearless and intelligent, she claims her sweet reward. Kira holds a prize worth risking everything for, but she is not the only one who craves it. Kira holds a prize worth fighting for, but against such overwhelming odds, surrender is not in her. The honey badger faces a direct threat, but this fearless creature will not back down. Against a giant, she will not yield. But on the African savannah, survival requires fearless intelligence. On the African savannah, fear is not an option. Kira faces the circling troop alone, betraying no weakness. Kira holds a prize worth fighting for. Two baboons attempt a dangerous flanking maneuver, but this fearless huntress.
Kira, the honey badger, must feed her cubs. The savannah is full of hidden dangers, but this fearless mother will not be stopped.
Kira is never far from home. She tracks her hidden burrow from afar. It is a fearless life. Kira has secured a sweet prize, but on the savannah, caution is survival. This fearless forager, Kira returns to her hidden burrow. For these hungry cubs, it is a moment of pure joy. Kira has found a rich prize for her cubs, a sweet reward on the harsh savannah. On the African savannah, every meal is earned. While her cubs feast, Kira remains on high alert, fearless. In the cool of the evening, Kira leads her cubs out. Every sense is on high alert. On the savannah, danger is always close. On the African plains, fear is a luxury few can afford. Kira has earned her place at the top. But even the fearless have rivals. A lion's roar signals danger. For Kira, the safety of her cubs is paramount. Only when they are secure can she truly rest. Inside the safety of the burrow, life begins anew. Kira's growing cubs wake with a persistent hunger. Facing the honey badger is a creature of legend. For this mother, the future of her lineage depends on caution. On the African plains, a fearless predator pauses. An unexpected visitor has caught her attention. This honey-guide bird has found a beehive, and Kira is more than willing to follow. On the African savannah, a unique partnership unfolds. This honey-guide bird, but it needs a guiding flight leads to a sweet reward. Now, the fearless honey badger takes the stage. Kira, the honey badger, calculates her next move. A honey guide bird waits for the leftovers. She must find a safe way up. Cold and calculating, she maps out her attack. Observation is key. In the heart of the African savanna, a golden treasure falls. Only one creature is fearless enough to claim it. Driven by an insatiable hunger, she finds her prize. But in the savanna, caution is survival. On the African plains, every meal attracts unwanted eyes. On the African savanna, tension is building. High above, silent eyes are watching. Kira believes the danger has passed, but silently, parallel hunters are closing in. The silent stalkers of the savanna do not. Surrounded by a troop of baboons, the honey badger shows no fear.
But this prize comes with a dynamic risk. Kira refuses to back down.
Surrounded by a hostile troop, this fearless badger refuses to yield. Squeezing through a gap too narrow for her pursuers, Kira effortlessly gains valuable distance. On the savanna, brains outmatch brawn. Kira, the honey badger, is as intelligent as she is fearless. She deliberately creates a barrier to block her pursuers. Taking advantage of the confusion, Kira grabs the honeycomb. She quietly slips away through the dense thorn bushes. Silver fur blends naturally into the shadows. But the trail has gone cold. The scent simply vanishes. Even for these expert foragers, this trail is lost. Kira waits patiently on the ridge above. The confused baboons finally give up. With the danger now behind her, Kira continues her journey. Kira has secured a rich prize. But in the savanna, peace is always brief. Kira is a master of survival. But in the savanna, sudden silence is a warning. She locks onto a scent. Kira picks up a fresh scent. A large snake has passed through here. Danger is close. And she is ready. On the African savanna, danger often hides in plain sight. Kira senses a presence she cannot see. But this fear... On the African savanna, Kira is unstoppable. But even a honey badger must respect this killer. In this arena, caution is the ultimate survival trait. One wrong move could be fatal for both. Kira evaluates her opponent. She chooses a longer but safer path. After a long journey, Kira reaches the ridge. After a long and dangerous journey, Kira can finally rest. After the feast, Kira glides into a gentler role. Her cubs can finally relax, safe in the heart of the savanna. On the African savanna is a lesson learned early. This honey badger leads her cubs outside their burrow. This honey badger is known as Kira. She scans the vast African plains. But on the savannah, a new scent carries a warning. Following a fresh trail, Kira approaches, but the grass hides what lies ahead. Fearless, she presses on into the dense. But danger lurks on the trail ahead. Kira must make a choice. Her cubs come first. As darkness blankets the savannah, a fearless mother finds peace within the earth. On the African savannah, danger never sleeps. Fresh tracks cut through the sand. Kira knows the danger is close. A deadly predator has crossed her path. Curiosity gets the better of them. But danger is never far away. Kira knows that in the savannah, sudden flight means danger is lurking. Even the Kira tracks her prey with absolute focus. This honey badger fears nothing, a master of the savannah. But on the savannah, danger is never far away. Kira senses that they are no longer alone. Kira follows a fresh snake trail. Every scent tells a story. Kira the honey badger is a fearless and intelligent predator. She understands the drongo's warning. Danger is closing in. Fearless and incredibly intelligent, the honey badger on its powerful sense of smell. On this narrow trail, caution is survival. Even for the fearless. On the African plains, danger is always swirling. But this mother is ready to protect her young. Kira senses a hidden threat. Her cubs rely on her fearless instinct. On the African plains, danger is often iris to iris. A massive black mamba lies in wait. It is a deadly game of patience. Neither animal is willing to make the first move. On the African savannah, every encounter is a dance with death. Kira faces the deadliest serpent on the continent. Kira faces her most dangerous opponent yet. A single mistake could be fatal. But on the savannah, danger strikes without warning. Only the fearless will survive. Kira sizes up her opponent. A calculation of risk and reward. On the African savannah, danger is always lurking. But honey badger Kira has a reason to be fearless. Her young cub. Facing a deadly predator, Kira stands her ground. For her young cubs, this is the signal to flee. On the African plains, danger is never far away. A mother honey badger faces a deadly black mamba. to protect her, but one wrong move could be fatal. Lightning fast, Kira must react. Kira sizes up her opponent. The mamba misses completely. This is a calculated game of life and death. The mamba is reaching its limit. But Kira is playing a smarter game. She waits for the perfect moment. The mamba misses its strike. Kira spots the opening. She prepares to move with perfect timing, fearless and intelligent. Kira holds the deadly predator in a grip of steel. One wrong move could be fatal for her and her cubs. The deadly mamba breaks away. Kira chooses not to give chase. On the African savannah, a mother's instinct is tested. Kira faces the deadliest snake on Earth. Kira shows her cubs a vital lesson. They must learn to recognize danger. On the African savannah, every scent carries a lesson. Kira teaches her young to avoid hidden dangers. On the African savannah, danger is a constant. But for Kira, fear is not an option. Now, peace. With powerful claws, she opens a hidden world. It is a vital lesson in survival. On the African savannah, every lesson is a key to survival. Kira guides her cubs toward independence. Their first Kira catches the faint scent of water. But these fresh tracks reveal a giant lurks nearby. Kira leads her young family to safety. In this land, only the fearless survive.
Kira guides her cubs in the harsh savannah. They must learn to find food on their own. Every lesson counts for their survival.
After a successful hunt, Kira can finally rest. For these fearless fighters, family is everything. Kira tracks a scent. It is a vital quest for water. Her cubs follow. The river at night is too great a risk. Kira chooses safety over a dangerous crossing. Here, her family is safe. To reach the other side, Kira must face her greatest fear. On the parched savannah, every morning is a battle for survival. Kira must find food for her hungry cubs. In the grip of the dry season, food is scarce. Every calorie counts for this young family. Kira leads her young across the scorching savannah. Their destination is the lush river valley. Kira tracks a path toward water. Every sign must be carefully read. In the dry season, survival depends on a single scent. Kira has found it, the promise of fresh water. Kira discovers a fresh sign of danger. Giant crocodile tracks press deep into the mud. She realizes she is not alone. The dry season makes every drop of water a gamble. Kira knows that danger often lurks just beneath the surface. Kira senses the danger. A monster glides silently. On the banks of the river, caution is survival. Kira scans the water, weighing every risk. A silent predator waits. On the banks of the river, danger lurks just beneath the surface. Kira faces a massive predator. A fearless mother protects her own. A massive Nile crocodile emerges onto the bank. From a safe distance, a honey badger watches. She carefully notes its every move. On this parched riverbank, danger lurks just beneath the surface. Kira must teach her young to respect the river. For Kira faces a deadly choice. But she is not alone. Another monster watches from the shadows. The river is doubly guarded. Crossing now. Instead of taking unnecessary risks, the mother leads them upstream. Honey badgers are incredibly intelligent. On this dry riverbank, caution is survival. A massive predator watches from below, but this mother is completely fearless. On the banks of the river, caution is survival. For a mother, danger is always lurking. Kira leaves the shelter of the fallen tree. She discovers a shallow crossing upstream. Here, Kira evaluates the river's treacherous current. Every calculation must be precise. A massive predator waits in ambush. On the banks of the river, Kira is on high alert. But danger lurks just beneath the surface. Kira shepherds her cubs along the riverbank. But a silent predator has noted their movement. Kira leads her young into the danger zone, totally unaware of the threat below. At this rocky crossing, Kira is taking no chances. Every ripple could hide a deadly predator, a massive Nile crocodile. On the river's edge, danger lurks just beneath the surface. A massive predator glides completely unseen, but this On this dry riverbank, danger is always close. The current sweeps a cub into the path of a predator. But danger lurks in the dry season. Kira will risk everything. Disaster strikes in an instant. A mother's instinct takes over. She will face the predator alone. To save her cubs, Kira must become the ultimate target. The crocodile closes in. On this riverbank, danger lurks just beneath the surface. But Kira's legendary reflexes are about to be tested. Not today, predator. On this dry riverbed, every step is a test. One small cub must conquer its fear. Under the mother's watchful eye, it is safe. But this mother is no ordinary prey. She must time this perfectly, defiant and free. On the dry banks of the river, danger is never far away. A massive Nile crocodile watches, waiting for a chance to strike. On this dry riverbank, danger lurks just beneath the surface. But this mother is fearless. Pound for pound, on the African plains, fear is a luxury few can afford. But the honey badger has earned a legendary reputation. On the African plains, dominance is brutally asserted. But some boundaries are never crossed. On the African plain, danger is always constant. But this fearless mother stands her ground. She crossed the river, only to enter the kingdom of Africa's most powerful predator, face to face with the lion. On the African savannah, survival requires absolute fearlessness. Kira provides for her young with brutal efficiency. On the African savannah, danger is always dynamic. Kira detects the fresh scent of a massive apex predator. Kira notes a fresh warning. A dominant male lion is near. Danger now surrounds her young family.
On the African savannah, signs of danger are never ignored. An uneasy silence spreads, but this mother is fearless.
On the African plains, danger is never far away. But Kira is no ordinary mother. She will risk everything. On the African plains, caution is survival. Kira faces the ultimate threat. But she will not run. On the African plain, danger is always constant. But this fearless mother stands her ground.
On the African savannah, tension is a daily reality. Kira will not back down, protecting her cubs from the ultimate predator.
In the savannah, danger is always watching. But this mother's instincts are razor sharp. One warning is all it takes.
Neither predator is willing to make the first move. It is a deadly game of patience. Pound for pound, she is the most fearless animal on Earth. But today, her courage will be pushed to the limit.
On the African savannah, size is not everything. This mother will face any threat.
Facing a predator 10 times her size, the honey badger cannot afford a single mistake. Every move the lion makes is matched.
Facing a giant, the honey badger does not flicker. She unleashes a masterclass in pure bluff.
Pound for pound, she is the most fearless animal on Earth. Even the king of beasts respects her lethal determination.
Kira calls softly to her cubs, urging them to find safety in the thorns.
On the African plains, fear is a luxury none can afford. Even against a giant, she will not back down. Pound for pound, the honey badger is the most fearless animal on earth. She will not back down. Kira senses a hidden danger. Without a word, she sends a silent warning. Deep in the thicket, her cubs obey. Pound for pound, the honey badger is the most fearless animal on earth. Even the king of beasts must respect her courage. Facing a giant, she does not flinch. Pound for pound, there is no animal more fearless. This lion decides the prize is not worth the pain. Faced with such fearless defiance, even the king of beasts must reconsider. Kira has saved her cubs once more. Kira waits, ensuring the danger has truly passed. Every lesson on the savannah is vital for survival. They must learn the scent of their greatest threats. On the African savannah, a fearless mother leads her young. For now, all is peaceful in this golden hour. But danger is never far away. Kira must protect her vulnerable cubs. Kira scents a hidden threat. Her cubs must wait in silence. A sudden silence sweeps across the savannah. Kira senses an invisible threat. On this landscape, caution is the key to survival. On the African savannah, danger takes many forms. Kira discovers fresh tracks. Something large is watching. On the African savannah, survival demands constant vigilance. Kira is a fearless and intelligent mother. Her cubs choosing safety over risk, Kira leads her cubs toward a more open route. Kira is a fearless and intelligent mother. She must lead her 3 cubs to a safer ground. But in the savannah, eyes are always watching. A hidden presence steps out from the shadows. The lion is gone, but another hunter has been watching from above. Key.
But danger often lurks.
Few can afford. A predator strikes, but this is no ordinary target. She will face.
On the African savannah, danger often watches from above. But this mother is ready to fight.
On the African savannah, Kira provides for her young. The cubs learn by mimicking her every move, but danger is never far away.
On the African savannah, danger is always a heartbeat away, but few creatures are as fearless as the honey badger.
On the African plains, danger often arrives without a sound. Kira senses a presence she cannot see. A master. On the African plains, caution is survival. But few predators dare to challenge a mother's fury. Kira, a fearless mother honey badger, guides her cubs. Deep claw marks on an acacia tree give her pause. Her keen senses detect a potential threat. On the African plains, danger often watches from above. But this mother is fearless. On the African savanna, danger often comes from above. Kira is a fearless and protective mother. But up in the... Kira suddenly stops, detecting a faint but dangerous scent. A predator is close. On the African savanna, Kira guides her cubs. But a silent predator watches from above.
On the African plains, caution is key. But danger often lurks above.
On the African savanna, fearlessness is a survival trait. But up above, a silent predator waits, watching.
On the African plains, survival demands absolute ferocity. A mother's courage is about to be tested.
On the African plains, caution is a luxury few can afford. A predator strikes, but this is no ordinary target. She will face. Following their mother's warning, the cubs sprint for the rocks. They must reach the safety of the narrow crevice.
Kira faces a deadly threat. But this mother is fearless.
Facing a predator twice her size, Kira cannot afford a single mistake. Every inch of this retreat is calculated.
Facing a predator 10 times her size, Kira stands her ground to protect her cubs. Kira leads her young into the maze. But danger is never far behind. A predator's eyes are fixed. Every squeeze counts in this harsh landscape. Kira ensures her cubs are safe. This narrow gap is their perfect defense. On the African savanna, a mother's vigilance is absolute. Kira stands her ground against a silent predator. But Kira is as intelligent as she is fearless. She silently guides her cubs into the shadows, moving them away from the leopard's deadly gaze.
Kira guides her cubs into the deep shadows. Here, she stands as a fearless guardian.
To survive, the cubs must remain perfectly still. For Kira will risk everything to protect her cubs. But multiple scents now create a rocky maze. Kira guides her young across the plains. Danger lurks, but this mother is fearless. Kira makes one final sweep of the horizon. On the African savannah, dusk is a time of transition. Kira guides her young with fearless confidence. For this family, survival is a shared journey. As dusk settles over the savannah, Kira faces the fading light alone. Her cubs are safe, guarded by the ultimate protector. As darkness settles over the African savannah, a fearless mother prepares her cubs for the night. For the honey badger, this is when life begins. But peace on the savannah is always fragile. Every sound carries a warning. On the African savannah, danger leaves a footprint. Kira must read the signs to protect her young.
The honey badger is a fearless protector. A mysterious silhouette appears on the ridge.
On the African plains, a fearless mother prepares her young for the journey of a lifetime. Ahead lies a world of endless adventure. The leopard is gone. But in the open savannah, danger comes from the sky. On the African savannah, a fearless mother watches over her young. Every lesson counts in this untamed wilderness. For the next generation of honey badgers, on the African plains, curiosity is a luxury, but this mother's watch is absolute. On the African savannah, danger can appear in an instant. Kira's natural instincts immediately take over. On the African savannah, Kira is on high alert. A martial eagle circles, looking for an opening. Kira leads her cubs through the tallest grass. Their low profile keeps them hidden from predators. On the savannah, caution is the high above the savannah. A martial eagle scans the plains. It spots a honey badger family, which quickly dives for cover. On the African plains, danger can fall from the sky, even for the fearless. A mother's first instinct is to protect her own. High above the savannah, a predator locks onto its target. Kira senses that the next pass may become a real attack. On the African plains, danger can fall from the sky, but this mother is ready to fight, fearless in the face of death.
For a defenseless cub, danger arrives from above. But this is no ordinary mother.
The honey badger is fearless. She explodes into a dead sprint. She will protect her own.
But danger is always taking flight. The martial eagle strikes, but a mother's fury is faster. On the African plains, caution is survival. But the martial eagle has met its match. Fearless, Kira stands. On the African savannah, caution is the key to survival. Kira guides her young beneath the thorny canopy. Kira stands her ground. No predator risks a fight with a honey badger. Defeated, the eagle glides away toward the distant cliffs. On the open savannah, danger often comes from above. Kira guides her cubs toward the safety of the trees. Every decision on the African savannah, every movement is calculated. This honey badger shields her cubs from predators above. On the African savannah, danger always looms. Kira senses a threat from above. The predator cannot reach them here. Inside this rocky gully, Kira rests with her cubs. But a mother's vigilance never ceases. She must read every... On the edge of the watering hole, Kira is on high alert. Her cubs sense the danger too. But on the savannah, danger is never far away. Something is moving in the reeds. Kira tracks a massive predator. Danger is lurking very close by. At the watering hole, danger is always lurking. Kira instantly senses the threat. Kira senses danger at the water's edge. She guides her cubs back into the safety of the brush. On the African plains, danger is never far away. A silent predator watches from the shallows. Kira guides her young away from the water. A silent predator watches from the edge. Danger avoided, character Kira stands as a fearless protector. But in the savannah, danger is never far away.
odds are now heavily stacked against her. Two more predators emerge from the grass. Trapped, Kira must now face her ultimate test. Kira spots a slim chance for survival. The passage is too narrow for a mass attack. A mother's defiance holds. A fearless mother honey badger races to save her cubs. Every second counts in this life-or-death chase. On the African savannah, danger is always lurking. But nothing is more fearless than a mother. She will risk everything to protect them. Pound for pound, she is fearless. A mother's fury is her greatest weapon. Kira reaches the narrow passage, but another hyena waits at the other side. Kira guides her cubs towards safety, but the path ahead is treacherous. The predators are left behind. On these rocky slopes, danger is never far away. But this mother is famously fearless. She will push back against any threat. On this rocky ledge, a clan of hyenas creates a moment of chaos. Kira spots a narrow escape route for her 3 cubs. Danger forces Kira to lead her cubs into the rocks. But the predators are already closing in. Kira has guided her young to safety. The threat is now trapped behind them. Against all odds, the family moves on. Kira guides her young to the safety of the rocks. Following a relentless pursuit, Kira and her young family must rest. As darkness approaches, the search for food begins. Every safe hiding place is investigated. Kira has detected movement beneath this fallen log. Her powerful claws make short work of the hard earth, revealing a rich source of protein for her growing cub. After a narrow escape, relief finally comes. But on the savannah, a mother's vigilance never ends. On the African savannah, danger is never far away. Kira senses disturbance. On the African savannah, danger is never far away. Kira had escaped the hyenas, but something far more dangerous was moving across the savannah. On the ridge, Kira stands on high alert. A massive herd of buffalo bursts through. Danger never rests. In the wake of giants, the savannah's fiercest mother emerges. Kira senses danger in the valley below. She must guide her cubs to the safety of the rocks. But something unknown was waiting ahead. The snake came for her cub, but Kira was ready to fight. Facing a massive python, Kira refuses to back down. Her cubs' lives depend on her fierce courage. On the rocky savannah, Kira faces a deadly threat. A giant python prepares to strike at her young. But danger is never far behind. Neither one was willing to back down. The python struck first, but Kira refused to give it a second chance. The python changed its strategy. Kira faces a deadly threat. She must protect her cubs at all costs. The honey badger's legendary reputation is put to the test. Kira stands her ground, shielding her vulnerable cubs. Kira signals her cubs to find safety. Kira knew she couldn't outrun it, so she made it follow her.
fight had finally begun. Inside the cave, the cubs can only listen. Kira faces the predator alone. Kira wasn't fighting for territory. She was fighting for her family. But the honey badger's fearlessness is legendary. The python had one more chance, but so did Kira. The python wanted the cubs, but Kira stood in its way. On this rocky terrain, a mother's vigilance is tested. One wrong move could be fatal for her cubs. The narrow gap forces the python to slow down. Kira stands her ground, fiercely protecting her cubs. On this ridge, vigilance is the only guarantee of safety. Danger lingers in the shadows below. Tonight, Kira had won another battle, and her cubs were still beside her. The danger was behind them, but the journey wasn't over. The danger has passed, but the toll is heavy. Kira will not rest until they are safe. Her vigilance is their shield. Kira sniffs the evening air, searching for vital water. Her three cubs follow closely, reliant on her fearless nature. In this rocky valley, Kira can finally lower her guard. For this fierce mother, family is everything. Then, the silence changed. In this rocky valley, danger leaves a footprint. Kira must decipher who passed through. Kira couldn't see it, but she knew something was watching. The python was gone, but Kira was no longer alone. The honey badger is legendary for its fearlessness. But facing a leopard demands ultimate defiance. Kira had survived the python, and she wasn't running from another predator. A leopard threatens the cubs, but this mother is fearless. She forces the predator to back down. The danger passes, but this mother remains on guard. The leopard was gone, but something else had disturbed the savannah. Kira had survived the python, but the next danger was already coming. They were surrounded, and Kira had nowhere to run. They appeared out of nowhere. And Kira realized her family was surrounded. On the African plains, a mother's love is tested. Kira faces a pack of wild dogs, but dollar for dollar, pound for pound, the first attack came fast. Kira must act quickly to save her cubs. Facing overwhelming odds, she refuses to back down. Kira had one chance: get her cubs through the rocks before the pack closed in. Kira knew they had to move now. Inside the narrow passage, the chase intensifies, but the tight rocks slow down the pack. Kira turns to face her enemy. On the African savannah, danger is never far behind. A cub falls behind, but a mother's fury is absolute. She would never leave one of her babies behind. For the moment, the rocks had saved them. But the pack wasn't leaving. The rocks had stopped them, but not for long. On this exposed ridge, Kira holds the high ground. Every movement is a calculated defense. To protect her cubs, she cannot afford. Cornered on a treacherous ledge, Kira turns to face her pursuers. Here, the terrain becomes her greatest ally. Once again, Kira made herself the target so her babies could escape. For the first time that night, the pack began to back down. The pack had backed away, but Kira knew better than to relax. Twilight brings a new threat, but this mother is fearless. She will protect her cubs. Staying was becoming more dangerous than moving.
They had found them again. To survive the savannah, a mother must be fearless. Kira guides her cubs across a perilous drop, but danger is closing in fast from behind. Danger on the savannah. Predators are closing in. A mother's fiercest battle. For now, the ravine stood between Kira and the pack. Morning finally came, and Kira was still standing. After a long, dangerous night, the savannah offers no rest. For this mother, the search for food is now critical. Her After a night of danger, her babies needed one thing most: food. She had escaped, but the savannah never stays safe for long.
Kira thought the danger was behind her.
Something massive was rushing straight toward them. Once again, Kira put herself between danger and her babies. Kira leads her young family into a richer, greener valley. She had survived the pack, the darkness, and the stampede. Kira had escaped, but in the African wilderness, the next danger is never far away.